So underrated is a very subjective thing.
मेरे लिए कठिन होने वाला है एंड आई माइट शॉक द लिसनर्स विद माय लिस्ट.
There's a mystery in this. He was just beginning to get famous. So people started thinking at that time that why would he kill himself?
इसमें जो मिस्ट्री एलिमेंट जो है, voyeurism जो जिस तरीके से दिखाया है, that is brilliant.
In the film itself, I don't remember who says it. There's an interview or the press, somebody saying, calls it Bollywood, and this person corrects and says, no, we are the Hindi film industry.
मैं फिल्म का स्टूडेंट हूँ लेकिन इस किस्म का स्टूडेंट नहीं हूँ जहाँ पे चीजें रटने की कोशिश करें. मैं हार मान गया.
हाँ.
आप बता दो अगर आपको जवाब पता हो तो मैं बहुत खुशी खुशी सुनूंगा.
मुझे नहीं पता.
You're listening to Dime a Dozen Films podcast.
Hello, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Salam. Welcome to yet another new episode of Diamond Dozen Films. Hi Ashu ji, hi Nalini ji.
Hi, Saurabh, how are you?
सब चंगा.
Hi, back to you.
Hi.
We got an opportunity to say hi with Saurabh.
Yeah.
So आज हम बात करेंगे our favorite films which are underrated. So underrated फिल्मों की बात करेंगे. So underrated is a very subjective thing. Some feel that underrated films वो हैं जो ज़्यादा popular नहीं है, ज़्यादा पैसे कमाई नहीं, लोगों को उसके बारे में ज़्यादा पता नहीं है, थोड़ा obscure है. And even some films are made by famous filmmakers, but there are other popular films. Because of those popular films, their previous work gets under the radar. So वो भी underrated में आ सकती है. So आज उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, हमारे favorite underrated films के बारे में. आप लोगों का क्या ख्याल है इस टॉपिक पे? ये बताइए.
आशु जी,
मेरे लिए कठिन होने वाला है बट हम कठिन रास्तों से निकलने के आदी है. तो आई विल ट्राई एन अटेम्प्ट एंड आई डोंट नो वेदर पीपल विल एक्सेप्ट माय लिस्ट ऑफ अंडररेटेड फिल्म्स बिकॉज़ फॉर मी अंडररेटेड फिल्म्स वो हैं जो उस वक्त लोगों ने उसको सराहा नहीं. बाद में क्या हुआ उस फिल्म के साथ में वो दैट इज अनदर स्टोरी बिकॉज कभी कभी कुछ चीजें उस वक्त ठीक नहीं लगती बट वो टाइम के बाद वही चीज जो है वो बहुत पसंद आनी शुरू हो जाती. तो मुझे वो वैसी फिल्में भी अंडररेटेड लगती. सो दे कुड बी वेरी पॉपुलर एंड आई माइट शॉक द लिसनर्स विद माय लिस्ट बट यस आई विल गो अहेड एंड आई विल स्पीक अबाउट इट.
जी. और आशु जी, आपके लिए कठिन कुछ नहीं होने वाला. आप वो है ना जो वो गाना गाते हैं, मैं जिंदगी का, कौन सा, आप गा के सुना दीजिए. आप
मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया,
हाँ,
हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया.
तो कठिन कुछ नहीं होगा आपके लिए. तो ये टॉपिक बहुत अच्छी लग रही है थोड़ी सी अलग. सौरभ, जब आपने सजेस्ट किया ये टॉपिक, इट मेक्स यू थिंक, like it's making us think right now about which films were underrated according to us.
Yeah, and it can be a film recommendation also for the viewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not necessarily the audience or the listeners will agree with our choices, but I guess that's what makes it interesting. And the list will be long, Saurabh, but we won't be able to. How many films are we going to be discussing, Saurabh?
Because of the time constraint, I think we have to discuss three each.
Okay, fair enough.
हाँ, तो बताइए आशु जी, आपकी 3 फिल्में आपको क्यों वो अंडररेटेड लगती हैं? कौन सी अंडररेटेड फिल्में हैं?
अच्छा, मैंने कहा कठिन है तो मुझसे ही शुरुआत होगी ऐसा?
जी, क्योंकि आप कठिन राह पे चलते हैं ना, इसलिए. तो राह
चलिए,
आसान बना देते हैं.
राह आसान बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे. तो मेरी पहली फिल्म जो है वो लोगों को मतलब एक झटका भी दे सकती है बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अंडररेटेड उस वक्त के लिए अग्निपथ है, अमिताभ बच्चन वाली.
अच्छा.
हाँ, उस वक्त लोगों को फिल्म जो है वो ज्यादा पसंद आई नहीं थी. उस वक्त अमित जी ने अपनी आवाज के साथ में प्ले किया था, एक उसको अलग सा मॉड्यूलेशन दिया था, एक उसको रफनेस दी थी और लोगों ने उसको सराहा नहीं, लोगों ने उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. उसके बाद ऑल्दो इमीडिएटली उसकी डबिंग होकर के उनके नेचुरल आवाज में आई बात हो और प्रिंट्स को रिप्लेस कर दिया था इमीडिएटली बट तब तक जो है बात हवा निकल चुकी थी और तब तक जो है लोग लोगों ने फिल्म को नकार दिया था। और ये अंडररेटेड मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूं क्योंकि जब वही फिल्म फिर से बनी अंडर द सेम बैनर जिसमें ऋतिक ने काम किया, तो वो फिल्म बहुत सक्सेसफुल हुई। तो अलग जेनरेशन में अलग टाइम पे अलग लोगों ने उसी फिल्म की कहानी को जब देखा तो उनको वो फिल्म बहुत पसंद आई। हालांकि अमित जी की परफॉर्मेंस, उस फिल्मों के डायलॉग, उनके कैरेक्टर्स, चाहे वो डैनी का कांचा चीना हो या विजय दीनानाथ चौहान वो हो, इवन जिसने अमित जी के बचपन का रोल किया है वो
मंजुनाथ, मास्टर मंजुनाथ।
मंजुनाथ, ही वॉज सो गुड।
सुपर मालगुडी डेज वाला।
Yes, he was so good. He was so good. He left a mark. रोहिणी हतंगड़ी हो, मिठुन चक्रवर्ती हो, कृष्णन नैयर एम ए, नारियल
हम्म,
पानी वाला. See,
हाँ
every characters are, they have a resounding effect on the audience. The lensing was brilliant. The action sequences were outstanding. Despite all of that, the film did not work. And that is the reason why I think they did not rate the film which it needed to be at that level. नहीं तो ये पिक्चर सुपर सक्सेसफुल होती थी. So my first film, which I think was underrated for its point of time at the time of release, is Agnipath.
अच्छा आशु जी, एक बात बताइए, एक सवाल है आपसे।
बोलिए.
अग्निपथ में अमिताभ बच्चन ने कितनी बार मालूम और हाय बोला?
हे भगवान, मैं फिल्म का स्टूडेंट हूँ लेकिन इस किस्म का स्टूडेंट नहीं हूँ जहां पे चीजें रटने की कोशिश करे मैं हार मान गया. आप बता दो, अगर आपको जवाब पता हो तो मैं बहुत खुशी खुशी सुनूंगा.
मुझे नहीं पता।
अच्छा. तो बट ये एक अच्छा कंपटीशन हो सकता है मेरे हिसाब से, अगर ऑडियंस में से किसी को पता हो और वो जवाब दे तो क्या बात है, नहीं?
हाँ हाँ
Yeah.
बिल्कुल हाँ
But what dialogues, कादर खान साहब के dialogues,
योर फेवरेट.
my favorite. Which is your favorite dialogue from Agnipath, आशु जी?
अरे मुझे तो उनका इंट्रोडक्शन ही बहुत अच्छा लगता है. विजय दीनानाथ चौहान, पूरा
हाँ
नाम, गांव मांडवा.
हाँ हाँ
मतलब कमाल है यार. वो तो जो डिपिक्शन है, कुछ ऐसा था कि 6 फीट के इंसान को 4 इंच की गोली जो है वो कुछ नहीं कर पाई.
वो नो नो, ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे नहीं. ये 6 फुट का बॉडी को लुढ़काने के लिए 4 इंच का गोली कम पड़ गया, मालूम?
कम पड़ गया होना. एब्सोल्युटली,
वाह
एब्सोल्युटली.
वाह
तो उसमें तो बहुत सारी लाइंस जो है वो बहुत पॉपुलर है.
इवन दैट डायलॉग, वो डायलॉग भी मुझे पसंद है. बहुत अजीब चीज है ये टेलीफोन, उधर से आदमी और कुछ बोलता है, तुम समथिंग लाइक दैट. आई डोंट नो, पैराफ्रेज.
हाँ
हाँ, लेकिन इट हैड अ, हम लुंगी उठा के ऐसा कुछ पता, समथिंग लाइक दैट ही सेज, मिठुन चक्रवर्ती.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. I mean, in fact, what happened was, I don't know why, but they couldn't replicate the loyal friend that Vijay Dinanath Chauhan had in Krishna Nayyar M.A. in the recent film of Agnipath, where Hrithik was there.
Yeah, but they introduced the new villain character, Rauf Lala.
या
Hmm.
But you know, interestingly, अग्निपथ वो वॉइस की वजह से बहुत क्रिटिसिज्म मिला था अमिताभ बच्चन को. बट वो आवाज का रीजन क्या, व्हाई ही इज हैविंग दिस आवाज, उसके लिए स्क्रिप्ट में भी चेंजेस करने की कोशिश की थी. कादर खान गेव अ डायलॉग वेयर ही इज टेलिंग दैट व्हाई हिज, लाइक उसके बचपन में एक्सीडेंट हो जाती है, इसलिए इसलिए आवाज ऐसा है. सम रीजन दे
Hmm.
वांटेड टू गिव.
मुझे क्या लगता है, मतलब मैं, क्या है ना कि हम लोग हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में खास करके उस वक्त जो पॉपुलर एक्टर्स थे, जो लेजेंड्स हैं, उनकी इमेज के साथ में छेड़खानी बहुत कम किया करते थे लोग, डायरेक्टर्स भी, फिल्म मेकर्स भी, क्योंकि उनको लगता था कि उनकी इमेज के साथ थोड़ी भी छेड़खानी अगर की तो ऑडियंसेस इमीडिएटली रिजेक्ट कर देगी. इसीलिए शायद जो पॉपुलर आइकॉनिक actors हैं, they played more or less same kind of characters in all their films, simply because they were fearful कि अगर हम कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट करें, कुछ अलग तरीके की कोई चीज करें, तो पिक्चर चलेगी नहीं. और उसकी वजह से नुकसान तो खैर सबको होता है, प्रोड्यूसर को भी नुकसान होगा, सारों को नुकसान होगा. जैसे इन दिस फिल्म अग्निपथ में यश जौहर हैड टू फेस अ लॉट ऑफ लॉसेस. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, the actors also became insecure with the fact that we can't afford to play around with our image. This is one of the glowing examples ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट इसीलिए लोग इमेज के साथ छेड़खानी नहीं करते हैं. हालांकि साउथ में लोग दे प्ले ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स, उनके साथ इमेजेस में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. बट नॉर्थ इंडिया, बॉम्बे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में वो एक इनसिक्योरिटी पॉपुलर एक्टर्स के बीच में होती है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई इफ यू सी एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम देयर आर, इन फैक्ट इट मे नॉट बी सरप्राइजिंग टू यू, बट जो बहुत पॉपुलर हीरोज होते थे उनको मारेगा कौन अगर कोई एक्शन सीक्वेंस होता है, वो अगर स्टेटस का बंदा नहीं होगा तो उससे वो मार भी नहीं खाएंगे. आई डोंट नो इफ यू हर्ड ऑफ दिस.
Of course, we've heard of this. Every second leading man in the industry, film, especially in the Hindi film industry, has this chip on his shoulder about who's going to hit me.
True. This is all because उनको अपने इमेज को लेकर के बहुत ज्यादा था. But I don't know whether it was Amit ji's suggestion or whether it was Mukul Anand's suggestion at that point of time. But maybe it is a combination that this happened. But they took the risk and they tried to see. अगर वो चल जाता तो, I mean, it would have been an evolution of an actor's career. It would have evolved even further. Unfortunately, nahi accept hua, and Amit ji had to go back to his original voice. Although I saw the film at that point of time on the first or the second day, and I completely accepted this voice and I loved it because he was playing completely different, something different, and the attitude that he had in that, the way he would sit, the way he would speak, the way he would unka postures jo tha, kamal tha. It was so brilliant. With all due respect, I don't think it got replicated in terms of temperament in the remake at all. And I'm not for a second do I say that Hrithik is not a good actor or a great actor, but Amit ji was fabulous in the original film.
Absolutely. चलिए, अग्निपथ से सीधा अभी आते हैं हमारे विजय दीनानाथ चौहान के पास. नलिनी जी, बताइए आप.
हाँ जी. तो सौरभ, तुमने मुझे बहुत नर्वस कर दिया सौरभ.
अरे नहीं,
वो आवाज ही नहीं निकल रही सौरभ. अच्छा.
बोलिए, अमिताभ बच्चन की आवाज में बोलिए.
नहीं. अगर टाइम रहेगा ना तो अभी जो आशु जी आवाज के बारे में कह रहे थे ना, और मैं उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बोलूंगी, पर टाइम रहेगा तो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी देयर इज अ फिल्म.
नलिनी जी,
हाँ
नलिनी
जी.
जी,
हाँ जी.
आपके लिए हमेशा टाइम रहेगा.
नहीं
आप बोलिए.
हाँ, बोलिए आप.
आप बोलिए. आप हमारी विजय दीनानाथ चौहान है, आप बोलिए.
नहीं, मैं आपसे ये कहना
इसके बाद
चाहती
आपको
थी
मांडवा भी जाना है.
मैं अगर ये बात कह दूंगी ना तो मुझे मांडवा के वो जो लेक है ना वहां पे कोई डुबो देगा जाके. बट ये मेरी ऑनेस्ट ओपिनियन है, और मैं बच्चन साहब की बहुत बड़ी फैन हूँ और हमेशा रहूंगी. और उस वक्त भी ये फिल्म थिएटर में लगी थी, पहले दिन दूसरे दिन मैंने देखी थी अग्निपथ. बट ये मेरा अपना टेक है, एंड मेरे साथ जो मेरी फैमिली थी उनका भी सिमिलर ओपिनियन था. You know, that voice changing and the posture changing and sitting, and of course it's become cult now, Vijay Dinanath Chauhan, and the way he raises his left arm, I think it is, or right arm, I'm not sure. And
Right arm.
yeah, so that voice for me, you know, when you watch the film on the big screen, there is something called acting, and then there is something called living that part or living the role, where it doesn't seem like acting. It seems that, oh my goodness, this person is that person. Okay. He speaks like that. He has that rasp in his voice and he's not putting it on. He wears kajal in his eyes and he's that. For me personally, being a fan of Bachchan Saab, and for me personally, Agnipath is a cult film, but that did not work for me, the voice, because it looked put on. And I don't know, Saurabh will know this, I don't know which year Scarface was released, Saurabh.
80, I guess. 1980.
Okay, and Agnipath came after that or before that?
Agnipath 1990. 90.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We've all seen Scarface. And this was at that time, I even remember when the critics went hammer and tongs at Agnipath because of the voice change and everything. It didn't work, but I'm not saying it because of that. Forget the critics. This is my own personal opinion, that there was too much acting. That's what did not work about Bachchan Saab. That's my two bit on that. That's what I felt.
कहाँ पे है वो पानी जो आप बोल रहे थे डुबोने वाला?
मांडवा का वो जो लेक है ना वहां पे. हाँ. हाँ
You know one more trivia about this film.
हाँ बोलो.
बोलिए ना.
इसमें गाना ना अली बाबा.
हाँ.
That was not the first choice. You know which song they was supposed to play? पता है आपको?
नहीं.
No.
जुम्मा चुम्मा.
ओ, हम वाला गाना.
Oh, हम वाला.
Jumma Chumma was supposed to be picturized on Archana Puran Singh, but they thought that this song is like tailor-made for Amitabh Bachchan, so we will use in some other film.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
तो
Interesting.
चलिए, नलिनी जी बताइए.
अच्छा जी, तो मेरी पहली फिल्म होगी लक बाय चांस, जोया अख्तर की.
वाह वाड़ा चाय.
हाँ, मुझे सही में लगता है मेरी आज तक वो जोया की सबसे फेवरेट फिल्म है सौरभ. आशु जी, इट्स माय फेवरेट फिल्म. और उसमें वो जो गाना है सौरभ, उसको सुन के मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं. बताओ तो कौन सा गाना?
सपनों से भरे नैना.
हाँ, उसकी पिक्चराइजेशन, उसका म्यूजिक, उसके लिरिक्स, it's
You can
just
more like it's relatable to you more, right? Because
yes,
casting,
yes,
yeah.
that was very well done. I mean, it shows up Bollywood. I hate to use the word Bollywood, but I'm using it here. It shows up Bollywood for what it is, you know, double standards, shallowness, uh, manipulative, crass people, the glamour or lack of glamour, nepotism, you know, and the shallowness of all these people. And this is again, you know, we were going to discuss something. This is one of the best films made about cinema within cinema. One of the best. No?
Yes.
है ना?
Yeah.
And she's
No doubt about it.
है ना? She's handled everything so beautifully. और सौरभ, आशु जी, इसमें ये फिल्म में इतनी shallowness है कैरेक्टर्स की, पर वो जो कोंकणा सेन का कैरेक्टर है उसमें इतनी डेप्थ है ना.
एब्सोल्युटली. हाँ.
है ना. और ये इंडस्ट्री उड़ते सूरज को सलाम करती है, वो इतनी अच्छी तरीके से दिखाया है.
It has one of the best opening shots.
Oh yeah, yes. When she's, I think the opening shot is when she's with Ali Khan and he's
No.
then
No, the title card लिख के आता है ना, तब they show these montage sequences of Light Man,
हाँ, yeah,
Makeup Dada, इनका montage sequence जो है,
yeah,
that is the best. Like it sets the mood.
yeah. She's handled it beautifully. Everything about this film. And you know, Rishi Kapoor's character, he's playing a celebrated film director who's obviously going through a little bit of a rough patch.
Producer, director is Sanjay Kapoor. And उसने संजय कपूर ने कौन सी पिक्चर बनाई थी ये बताइए. Before making this film with Farhan Akhtar.
मुझे नहीं याद. मुझे नहीं याद.
Fistful of rupees.
और इसमें इतना वो ब्यूटीफुल सीन है अनुराग कश्यप का, where he wants to kill himself ना, because he's writing the dialogue and this actress, she's not able to say it, और वो बेचारा राइटर उधर स्ट्रगल करके वो डायलॉग लिख रहा है और ये बोल नहीं पा रही है, and he says something sort of there, something like मेरी जान ले लो अभी, you know, and he's got frustrated. And इसमें जो शाहरुख खान डायलॉग बोलते हैं ना,
that is one of the best cameos.
This is, and I don't remember the dialogue, but I'm just going to paraphrase in English. I think he says, "Don't forget your friends who knew you, and were your friends when you were a nobody, when you become a somebody," right, Saurabh? Something like that.
हाँ, yeah.
You know, he says,
उन दोस्तों को मत भूलो
हाँ,
जो तुम्हें जानते थे जब तुम कुछ नहीं थे.
जी.
Something like that.
और पता है ये फिल्म मुझे और भी, ये तो अभी हम पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं इसलिए मैं बोल रही हूँ, जब ये फिल्म आई थी ये ख्याल मेरे दिमाग में नहीं था, बट कागज के फूल के बाद आई थिंक दिस इज वन ऑफ द बेटर फिल्म्स वेयर इट्स अबाउट हिंदी मूवीज and the film industry. I think it represents that very well. And the music mainly, I like that song ना, वो जो circus वाला गाना शुरुआत में, that stylized
भावरे,
that,
भावरे,
that is beautiful.
उसको इतना प्यारा शूट किया है, कितनी एनर्जी है उस गाने में, whilst you hear it also. और शूट को देख करके एडिट के साथ में भी एनर्जी बहुत ज्यादा लगती है.
और ऋतिक ने क्या काम किया है उसमें, है ना, उस गाने में. इसमें हर चीज she's taken, you know, she is literally, because she's a part of the film industry, she's grown up in it, but still it can't be easy to present, you know, the वो मम्मियां होती थी ना स्टार्स की, बेबी को जूस दो, और बेबी को जूस दो,
सीताफल milkshake, which is a dialogue from Rangila, again a film within film.
again film within film. बेबी को ये दो, बेबी को वो दो. अच्छा, इसमें एक और चीज है बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है कि कोंकणा सेन शर्मा एंड फरहान अख्तर, who are part of the film industry in real life, ये दोनों आउटसाइडर्स प्ले कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
और वो जो है ईशा शर्वानी जो who's a dancer, she's playing the
Part of the trade.
Nice observation.
है ना, a
Yes.
privileged child. So I'm
Yeah.
sure this was intentional. Zoya's very intelligent that way, so I'm sure this was intentional, right, Saurabh?
Yes. Yes. पक्का
हाँ.
intentional होगा.
और सौरभ, मैंने काफी टाइम हो गया फिल्म नहीं देखी, तो मुझे लग रहा था कि वो क्या नाम है, ऋषि कपूर के जो कर्ली कर्ली बाल थे,
Yeah.
who was he in the film, as in which?
No idea.
I thought you would know. Ashu ji?
No.
No, not sure. पर मुझे एक चीज बताइए, I don't remember, but I just want to know, was this the first film of Farhan Akhtar as an actor?
No.
No,
No?
no. Okay, so which was Farhan's first film? Let's think. 1 minute.
Released film is Rock.
Rock On, yes, Rock On.
But his first film was something Fakir or something which released very lately.
Yeah.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
Nobody
अच्छा.
has seen that. Yeah, that went straight to the film festivals and all that. Yeah. But
Venice of Fakir or something like that, ना?
yeah, the
Fakir of
Fakir of
Venice.
Venice, the Fakir of
हाँ,
Venice.
हाँ.
पर इसमें फरहान अख्तर ने भी बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, मतलब सबने ही अच्छा काम किया है इसमें. बहुत कम क्रिटिसिज्म है इसमें. वो the other actor who's jealous of Farhan Akhtar because he's from theatre, Arjun Mathur. He's not underrated. He's a very good actor. He's very real. I always like him whenever I see him in Wedding Planner, no? कौन सा है वो? Made in Heaven.
Made in Heaven.
Yeah.
He was very good in that.
Yeah. तो मेरी पहली choice है Luck by Chance because of the script, the screenplay, the plot, the casting, the way she has cast, she's cast writers as writers. And except for Rishi Kapoor, who's not been a director.
And there are so many great cameos in the film.
Oh, yes.
One of the best cameos, I think, is a cameo of McMahon.
Oh, gosh, I can't. Oh, that is fantastic.
And there is a very perfect reason for placing him in that sequence.
Speak about it.
Because Farhan Akhtar is in this acting school, he's learning acting.
Yeah.
और उसके last day में, when he's thinking that मैं एक बड़ा actor बनूंगा, उस दिन he's shown a man who was always a side actor in film. He is giving him certificate.
Yeah.
तो उसका ये थिंकिंग है कि इसकी तरह नहीं बनना है मेरे को, मुझे बड़ा एक्टर बनना है. मुझे ये नहीं बनना. मुझे इवन वो सौरभ शुक्ला ही टेल्स टू सांबा कि सांबा जी आपका फेवरेट वो डायलॉग एक बार बोल दीजिए, कितने आदमी थे. तो मुझे ऐसा एक्टर नहीं बनना जो सिर्फ एक ही डायलॉग में फेमस है, एक ही डायलॉग के लिए जाना जाता है और एक ही डायलॉग है पूरे पिक्चर में. So that's a very, very fine, like there is a reason for that cameo.
Oh, yes. Even her dialogues, there's a reason. There's something which in the film itself, I don't remember who says it. There's an interview or the press, somebody's saying, calls it Bollywood. And this person corrects and says, no, we are the Hindi film industry. वो भी Luck by Chance में है.
सौरभ शुक्ला से नो कि हिंदी पिक्चर के हीरो बनने में बहुत तकलीफ है. लाइक आपको डांस भी करना है, यू हैव टू डू एक्शन, यू हैव टू रोमांस, यू हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग. ही सेज दैट.
एब्सोल्युटली.
इसमें बहुत एक छोटा सा एक सीन है मगर बहुत बढ़िया है, वेयर ईशा शेरवानी वो पैर छूती है. शी ट्राइज टू टच ऋषि कपूर्स फीट. Do you remember that scene?
No, I'm not.
वो छोटे कपड़े पहनी है, so she's like trying to protect her dress also.
Oh yeah.
And such a beautiful scene that.
Yeah. इसमें बमन ईरानी का कैमियो है, संजय कपूर का कैमियो है, और but like Saurabh is saying, the favorite cameo is Shah Rukh Khan's in this. Luck by Chance में.
This was Zoya's first directorial venture. And they had pulled all the stops to, commercially try and see that the film works. Unfortunately, the film didn't work. But yes, it did go under the radar. It was an underrated film, but a very, very, very well-made film. Technically also, the quality of the product was really nice.
And Ashuji, she, I think, just raised the bar for herself with the ending,
Yeah.
The ending was superb. When after all her ambition and everything that Konkana Sen Sharma's character goes through, she's finally a star on television, which is also the truth of so many of these quote unquote aspiring actors or stars or people who want to be leading men and women. And then when he comes backstage, he comes to say sorry to her. She says that, no, Saurabh, to him, that when he's saying sorry and said, oh, I was so selfish, I was this, I was that, you were so good to me, you did everything for me, I couldn't recognize it. And you know what she says? She says, it's still about you. You're still talking about you.
I have met so many actors like this on set.
Yeah.
So many of them.
I mean, he's still so selfish after doing everything which he did.
Which also shows that it's written by a woman, because Zoe Akhtar must have seen in every film that woman character is always to serve the hero.
Yeah.
So this scene breaks that.
Yeah. I think that was tremendous, the ending which she did. And also, I'm sure you all know this bit because she said that in so many interviews. It took her 8 years to even get people to agree to be a part of this film. She approached every single leading actor and actress. Nobody wanted to. They made excuses. So she's put that also in the film, remember? I mean, सब लोग पतली गली से खिसक जाते हैं. Yes, we are friends, but we're not doing it. It was Zoya's first film. So she's approached every known actress and actor to be a part of a film, even though she was Javed Akhtar's daughter. That's when Farhan came and said, "Chalo, main karta hu." But really, this is one film that deserved to be a bumper success. No, much more than any of the other films she made. Much more. Yeah.
I think, yeah, this film is better than, honestly speaking, comparing to her other films. I think this is her best.
This is her best, absolutely, from every point of view. Every point of view, it's her best, including that broken fridge in the house. And when Konkana and Farhan, they go to a supermarket. What a
वो
nice
सीन कितना
touch.
बढ़िया
है ना?
वो जिस तरीके से फ्रिज खरीदता है.
हाँ.
That contest ही right.
हाँ. तो ये सब चीजें देखिए बहुत उसने मतलब बहुत सोच समझ के डाली है. तो मुझे तो
And
इसकी
he's so
फेवरेट है.
smart. His character is so smart. Farhan Akhtar's
Farhan
character.
Akhtar's, yeah.
He watches all the Dimple Kapadia's old movie and then talks to.
How lovely that is, na? He goes to her in the party. And Dimple Kapadia's expression when he's giving her that compliment, no? That he said, I was born because my parents loved you or something. They romanced seeing.
And interestingly, she was there in his first film, Dil Chahta Hai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is indeed her favorite act.
Yeah. Chaliye, मेरी पहली choice, Luck by Chance.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
Saurabh.
So my favorite underrated film is Vidhu Vinod Chopra's thriller murder mystery Whodunit, 1985. खामोश.
खामोश.
What an irony. खामोश के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ मैं.
खामोश.
मुझे चुप रहना चाहिए.
अरे वाह.
खास बात ये है कि इसमें बहुत मेटा रेफरेंसेस है, लाइक सो दिस इज अ मर्डर मिस्ट्री, और ये एक शूटिंग के दौरान एक मर्डर होता है और उसका मिस्ट्री सॉल्व करते हैं. नसरुद्दीन शाह द प्रोटैगनिस्ट. And interestingly, the actors who are playing in the film, who are acting in the film, their name is real.
Yeah.
So Amol Palekar is Amol Palekar in the film. Shabana Azmi. Soni Razdan is Soni Razdan. Magar Nasruddin Shah is not Nasruddin Shah because he is not acting.
Yeah.
He's a real life character.
And Sudhir Mishra is Michael Butt, na?
Sudhir Mishra is not acting, right? He's a cameraman.
Oh yeah, he's a cameraman. So they've given him Michael, the name.
Michael. Avatar Gill is Avatar Gill.
Avatar
Because
Gill.
he's acting. That's the beauty of this film. और इसमें बहुत सारे इसका मेकिंग जो है वो मुझे बहुत बढ़िया लगा. There are many shots, like I think Binod Pradhan was the cinematographer.
Yeah.
Who later was cinematographer of Vidhu Vinod Chopra's other film also, I guess. Parinda, 1942, A Love Story, Kareeb भी है शायद. So yeah, इसमें जो mystery element जो है, voyeurism जो जिस तरीके से दिखाया है, that is brilliant. मैं ज्यादा spoil नहीं करूंगा. It's a murder mystery, ज्यादा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. मगर इसमें एक बहुत बढ़िया साइको का रेफरेंस भी है, and there's a very nice reference of Godfather. Yes, exactly. दोनों का बहुत ही बढ़िया रेफरेंस दिया, and it's a very Hitchcockian style of film. इसमें बहुत सारे Hitchcock की फिल्मों की याद आएंगी आपको. फॉर एग्जाम्पल शबाना आजमी, नींद में चलने की बीमारी है उनको. वो सब आपको आप देखेंगे तो आपको एल्फ्रेड हिचकॉक की याद आएगी. even how the mystery solves, the way the climax sequence is classic.
Yeah, the revelation is classic. The revelation is very well shot, and the revelation of the killer, that shot when the lady is seen that face. Oh, that was amazing. That shot was amazing. Yeah, yeah.
इवन साउंड डिजाइनिंग बहुत बढ़िया है। इसमें बहुत सारे कैमरा मूवमेंट्स भी मैंने देखे हैं जो उस टाइम में
Hmm.
फॉर दैट टाइम इट्स अ रेवोल्यूशन।
Hmm.
And Pankaj Kapoor, every actor's performances was so nice. Amol Palekar, Pankaj Kapoor's acting also I liked.
Hmm.
Others were also good, but these two were brilliant in the film. Pankaj Kapoor का रोल बहुत ही छोटा था, but he killed it. I think people should celebrate this movie more because ऐसे टाइम में आई थी और वेरी इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म, क्योंकि विधु विनोद चोपड़ा ने खुद प्रोड्यूस की थी, कोई प्रोड्यूसर मिला नहीं उनको, तो उन्होंने खुद ही प्रोड्यूस किया।
Hmm.
सो इंडी सिनेमा के लिए इट्स अ पायनियर आई गेस। और एक ही थिएटर में रिलीज किया था, आई
Hmm.
रिमेंबर, लाइक ही सेड इन एन इंटरव्यू। बहुत ही बढ़िया। एंड आफ्टर दैट परिंदा एंड 1942 अ लव स्टोरी एंड ऑल केम, बट दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फिल्म फ्रॉम हिज फिल्मोग्राफी।
Yeah.
सो हाईली रेकमेंड, अगर आपने देखा नहीं तो पक्का देखिए।
But the thing is, Saurabh, see, this is like we were speaking in our previous podcast, the tragedy of films like this, which we want people to see. Of course, Khamosh is available on YouTube, but once
बहुत खराब
again,
प्रिंट है,
it's such
बट
a, there are parts in the print where it's very clear, and then purposely it gets jumbled up. It's like, the what's that others, your aliens are coming in. So at important points, the pixelation and the colors and everything. So it's very annoying, but still, the close-ups and stuff like that, they are pretty clean.
But interestingly, Vidhu Vinod Chopra made a trailer of this film. There is a trailer cut in his on his YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Should re-release this film.
He should, absolutely.
आशु जी, आपने देखी है फिल्म?
मैंने देखी है, बहुत टाइम हो गया है। एंड मतलब मुझे ये सारे चेहरे इतने यंग यंग, नसीरुद्दीन शाह, पंकज कपूर, शबाना आजमी, I mean, when you go revisit them, they look so young at that point of time. Obviously, no, they were young at that point of time. But to have made a thriller at that time, in itself, not that thrillers were not being made, but it was not. I mean, people were concentrating more on social films, more on patriotic films at that point of time. Thriller used to come and go, and very certain set of people made it. But Vidhu Vinod Chopra made a very, very classic film at that time.
पता है इसमें ना सौरभ, एक और बहुत चीज है जहाँ पे हंसी आती है, 2-3 बार वो सीन दिखाते हैं, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स आल्सो लिटिल बिट ऑफ अ स्पूफ ऑन हाउ फिल्मी एक्टिंग होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना? तो वो
Yeah.
शबाना आजमी और अमोल पालेकर उस पत्थर पे बैठे ना, जहाँ पे वो नीचे देयर इज अ रिवर एंड इट्स अ लव सीन, एंड शी सेइंग अमोल तो मुझे छोड़ के नहीं, और व्हाटएवर हिज नेम इज इन द फिल्म, मुझे छोड़ के तो नहीं जाओगे एंड ऑल दैट, एंड you see that scene again. Shabana Azmi is doing so much acting because, see, that's how they were supposed to do acting,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were supposed to quote unquote. So that is so funny because she's done it also in a way that, look, I'm acting now. But there's one thing in this which, because I saw it अभी अभी तो मुझे याद है, नहीं तो बिल्कुल भी याद नहीं होता. सदाशिव आमरापुरकर is playing the director, है ना आशु जी?
Yeah.
तो वो जब नॉर्मल बात करते हैं ना, जब वो डायरेक्शन दे रहे होते हैं शबाना को या अमोल पालेकर को या अफ्तार गिल को कि ऐसे करो ऐसे मत करो, आप नोटिस कीजिए फिल्म जब आप देखेंगे तो वो नॉर्मल एक्सेंट में बात कर रहे हैं, उसमें बहुत कम या ना होने के बराबर साउथ इंडियन टिंज है. All right, that's when he's talking to them, and then he goes back to being South Indian in his speech. So I found that very strange. There are these kind of bloopers also in the film, and
It has a lot of meta references. जैसे कि वो बोलता है कि अरे ये तो थ्रिलर पिक्चर है सर, इसके बाद हम लोग शकुंतला बना रहे हैं ना. Just a thriller. It's a reference to their film itself. It's a very self-aware movie. और उसमें ये भी बोलते हैं कि कंजूस, इसमें और एक सीन है जिसमें वो बोलता है कि कंजूस प्रोड्यूसर हमें पार्टी देगा. which is also self-aware because he's only producing it.
exactly.
उसको producer मिलेंगे.
अच्छा सौरभ,
And one more scene which reflects the real persona of शबाना आजमी, क्योंकि शबाना आजमी ने रियल लाइफ में भी बहुत सारे women empowerment वो उन्होंने आवाज उठाई हैं, बहुत सारे problems उन्होंने बात की हैं on media. So there's a scene in the film where there's a rape sequence, अवतार गिल का. and nobody cuts, nobody
She
says
gets
cut.
yeah.
और वो कैमरा भी shows these men's faces. वो हवस भरी नजर से वो देखते हैं, उसको भी वो कैप्चर करते हैं, एंड द ओनली पर्सन हु सेज दैट कट करो यार, कब तक करोगे?
Yeah.
एंड द एक्टर्स आल्सो सेज मम्मी बचाओ मुझे, मुझे नहीं करना है, still camera is rolling, still
Yeah.
camera is rolling, and Shabana comes and says that बंद करो ये, and
Hmm.
she slaps also the writer who uh, makes a misogynist comment.
Yeah.
So,
She comes and
yeah,
says कोई कट नहीं बोलेगा क्या? अच्छा सौरभ,
yeah.
एंड में जब काफी मतलब हो चुका है एक्शन और मर्डर्स हो चुके हैं ऑल दैट, जब फिर भी वो लोग शूट कर रहे हैं ना वहां पे कश्मीर में पहलगाम में, तो एंड में भी वो भी एक रेफरेंस है कि वो सब लाल लाइटें लगा देता है ना सदाशिव अमरापुरकर, खून
Yeah.
खून, बिकॉज द टाइटल ऑफ द फिल्म इज आखिरी खून।
आखिरी खून. Yeah.
तो वो उसकी लाइटें सारी लाल होती हैं और फिर वो क्लाइमैक्स में काम आता है फिर वो, दैट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। और दूसरा मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, नसीरुद्दीन शाह इतने स्टाइलिश, और अब उनको मूछें इतनी सूट करती है नसीर साहब को, और जब वो आते ही है स्क्रीन पे तो लगता है कि ये तो पुलिस वाला ही है ना। बाद में वो तो खैर मिस्ट्री है थोड़ी। तो ही इज लुकिंग सो लीन एंड ही इज लुकिंग so good in this movie. Nasir Saab, very good, and there's a mystery to his character also, whoever he's playing, you know.
In fact, for people
Or
who want to revisit this film now and want to watch it, it'll be a very pleasant surprise for everyone to see these faces when they were really uh, they were starting afresh. I would rather put it in that way. It'll be great watch for all of them.
yeah.
Yes.
But you know, while we're recommending it, I also have a little bit of a disclaimer, because when I watched it again, then I felt that if I was to tell youngsters like 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds, like our young Saurabh Nair here, Morne, if I if you have to recommend a film like this to them, I think you need to put a disclaimer that listen, there are technical faults, there are some things in this which you're going to say, oh my
No, no,
God,
no,
kya?
not at all. If you see the
No,
film,
there are.
there are many technical finesse in the film.
No, I don't
बहुत
know.
सारे ऐसे शॉट्स हैं जो 1985 के लिए बहुत बड़ी
हाँ
बात है.
हाँ हाँ, 85 के लिए होगा, वही तो मैं कह रही हूँ, एक डिस्क्लेमर डालो ना,
इसमें
because
इसमें
वो
there's a
सोचेंगे
shot
कि
of car,
हाँ
there's a jeep driving sequence,
हाँ
and that is shot in a Dutch angle style. कैमरा टेढ़ा होता है और जब वो गाड़ी रुकती है तो कैमरा सीधा हो जाता है. Those things are very new for 85, I guess.
yeah, no, definitely, but there are other things in this which are, you're going to end up saying कि अच्छा इससे better नहीं हो सकता था क्या, you know. You will look at the youngsters of today, you're a cinephile, everybody isn't, right? So you're going to look at it with a Dutch angle, and you're going to look at it from this prism.
I am a cinephile, but I also feel cringe if I see a outdated film, even if it's a 2023 film also. उसमें
Hmm.
अगर कुछ cringe है तो cringe लगेगी, मगर इसमें cringe
हाँ, लेकिन जैसे
बहुत
इसमें
ही
इतना
कम है.
क्रिंज है ना,
Blissful
सोनी
है वो.
राजदान का जो कैरेक्टर है और
Yeah.
उसकी जो एक्टिंग है और उसका जो डायलॉग का जो रिहर्सल है, दैट्स ऑल क्रिंज, या nobody rehearses like that, nobody, so that is also a spoof on,
It's not
हाँ,
cringe, but that
it's not
dialogue
cringe,
itself demands those kind of
हाँ,
melodrama, dramatic वो dialogue है.
बट वो जब जाती भी है, वो तैयार भी हो रही है, पार्टी में भी जाती है एंड ऑल दैट, और उनकी पार्टी भी होती है, you know, there are lots of things in this which you can feel that okay fine, it's 1985.
One more new thing I noticed in this film, which is new for 1985, is एक scene जो है एक एंगल से दिखाते हैं और वो सेम सीन दूसरे एंगल से भी दिखाते हैं.
Yes,
When
throughout. Yes,
some other guy is talking
yes,
and he has seen that scene or that incident
yeah.
from his, the camera is also showing from his point of view. Like अगर मैंने किसी को देखा बात करते हुए तो मैं शायद दूर से देखा होगा, तो मैं जब एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ नसरुद्दीन शाह को जो इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है तो कैमरा भी वाइड शॉट होगी. मगर जो नजदीक में अभी सोचो, नलिनी जी has seen that incident very closely. If Nalini ji explains that, camera is close up.
Yeah.
Okay, दोस्तों चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. आशु जी, आपकी दूसरी फिल्म,
तो
अंडररेटेड फिल्म कौन सी है?
मेरी दूसरी अंडररेटेड फिल्म जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है वो है 2 दूनी 4. ऋषि कपूर, नीतू सिंह, दिल्ली में बेस की है फिल्म, अबाउट एन अपराइट मैथमेटिक्स टीचर जो नॉर्मल जिंदगी जीता है, बट उसके लिए एक गाड़ी खरीदना एक इस किस्म का ड्रीम है जो वो normally afford नहीं कर सकता है. So in the aspiration of wanting to buy a car, the journey also takes him through a place where he earns the respect of his entire family for who he is. मुझे दो दुनी चार अप्रोच की वजह से, स्क्रीन प्ले की वजह से, परफॉर्मेंसेस की वजह से, और एक इतनी सिंपल सी चीज है कि एक मिडिल क्लास फैमिली को गाड़ी खरीदना आसान नहीं है, और उनके बच्चों का एस्पिरेशन कि हम कितनी देर तक स्कूटर में चलते रहेंगे, हमारे बगल में गाड़ी आ गई, उधर गाड़ी आ गई, किसी की गाड़ी लेकर के हमको शादी में जाना पड़ता है, हमारा खुद का कुछ नहीं है. Although he is more or less content, he gives in to the aspiration of his children and wants to go buy a car, and at times even wants to sell his soul, which he thinks he doesn't want to or should not do, but he has to compromise if he needs to buy a car. So इतने levels पे ये film इतनी सारी चीजों को address करती है. At the same time, film बहुत light रहती है. It has repeat value and you don't mind watching the film again. So for me, I think Do Tuni Char is an underrated film, and if you've not seen it, you must watch it.
Yeah, I loved Do Duni Char also, Ashuji. And I was just going to say, you know, these films that they shoot in these Delhi colonies and in these Delhi homes, it's always very nice to see how they shoot the insides, you know, and how they shoot the action. It's also natural, and it's like you're there, you know. And this is one such film that you feel कि तुम उधर हो उस घर में, you know, नीतू सिंह वो किचन से बाहर आ रही है और सब तैयार हो रहे हैं और ये अपना वो स्वेटर पहन रहे हैं और हेलमेट पहन रहे हैं और वो लड़की कुछ बोल रही है, उनकी बेटी कुछ और बोल रही, she's feeling ashamed the fact that they don't have a car, or the son also gets involved in a racket, right?
क्या वो betting करता है?
हाँ, betting करता है because, and you're so right, दो दुनी चार बहुत ही अच्छा और मेरे लिए भी रिपीट वैल्यू वाली फिल्म है ये.
कितना identifiable है?
हाँ, ये चली नहीं थी क्या ये फिल्म जब आई थी?
The film did okay. It wasn't a disaster, but it was okay. But मेरे लिए क्या है कि for me, I mean, such a film, this film, like Khosla Ka Khosla also is of the same category. मुझे Khosla Ka Khosla भी बड़ी पसंद है film, and lots of these Delhi middle class films, Oye Lucky Lucky Oye, they are great films to watch, and you don't mind going revisiting the film over and over again. I think the kind of audiences this film should have had, it should be far bigger than what it actually got. And that is why I feel it is underrated.
And it was the first time the audience was seeing this husband and wife together after they stopped acting as romantic pair.
Yes, yes.
And she did the film only because she was going to do it opposite Rishi Kapoor. So that was very nice to see. And yeah, it was very well handled.
Just to be naughty, how many times do you see Rishi Kapoor scratching his bum in front of the camera? That's how natural he was in the film.
Yeah, his second coming, he wanted to do, na, he was lucky enough to get all these roles, like Do Duni Char, and like he got to play Rauf Lala in Agnipath and all. He was very fortunate.
Yeah,
he played a 100-year-old man in that film, Kapoor and Son.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at the roles he got, and the roles that he said that he wants to now do, because he said it so often that, you know, what he was doing when he was a romantic hero was nothing, just wearing his own sweaters and dancing about. So he wasn't very satisfied, and that's why he took a break. So his second coming is what is really noteworthy, though I was a huge fan of his. In every Bachchan film that he came, I was a huge fan because I just thought he was a very natural actor. And like you're saying, you know, even एक और फिल्म है ना, शर्मा जी नमकीन,
yes,
जो बीच में बेचारी वो गुजर गए थे तो परेश रावल ने की.
That's the swan song of Rishi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to reiterate over here, you know, what I started saying in the beginning of the podcast, that, you know, actors seldom get an opportunity to experiment with their characters and their roles when they are mainstream heroes, because their image, they're so overburdened with their own image that they don't know whether the audiences will accept it or not.
Yeah.
Yes. And this was after a long time, right? Neetu Kapoor and Rishi Kapoor.
It was the first time they got together after they played
after a long time.
Yeah, it was the first time. I mean, she agreed to be a part of the film only because it was opposite. So it was her comeback into the film industry. And
it was her comeback and together.
Yeah, because she was about 20 years old when she got married, and she stopped working after that, no? Completely. Yeah. So yeah. So it was very nice to see. And I'm really surprised that even that curiosity value, didn't bring more audiences into the theaters to see this to make it a humongous success. What do you think is the reason for that?
So there are two reasons. Yes, there are two reasons I would imagine. See, the films are driven by A-lister stars. And when I say A-lister stars, I'm saying about A-lister stars of the current generation. And at that point of time, this film was being helmed by Neetu Kapoor and Rishi Kapoor. The rest of the people in the film were not, they were all other kinds of actors who you accept as character actors. So when you're resting your film on Rishi Kapoor and Neetu Singh, you are you don't have an open-ended budget. That's one. Two, you're working with a film premise which is more or less, it's not the mainstream commercial kind of a premise which people will say yes and they will flock to the theaters, and hence the publicity PR budgets also become limited. It's a combination of all of these things that you put together to make this film whatever it was. So when it was a film of a middle class family, the film also became like a middle level film in the industry. But yeah, it was accepted by whoever saw the film. It should have had a larger audience, but whoever saw it, they really loved the film.
ओके दोस्तों, नलिनी जी बताइए आपका
अब आपकी बारी.
दूसरा
Acha ji.
अंडररेटेड
Acha, my second film is an English film. Actually, it's a Dutch film. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, anybody who has not seen this, please do see it. Ashuji, Saurabh, I think you've seen it. It's a film called Loving Vincent.
I've seen this.
Oh, oh God, oh God. Okay, so I'm going to just speak a little bit about this film. It released in 2017. And I just want to say that I was enthralled. I was enthralled from the very first moment. And till long after the credits rolled, and that song of Don McLean's plays in the end, Starry, Starry Night, and my tears just flowed, because one is, it's so emotional. Second thing, it reminded me of my childhood. We used to sing this song in school, and I never knew, I did not know then, that Don McLean had written this song and composed it for Vincent van Gogh. So Loving Vincent, some people call it a docudrama, but it's a most unique, very unique, full painted feature film. And the lady who thought about this, she's a Polish filmmaker. I do not know how to pronounce her surname, so I will just call her Dorota. That's her first name. And she's a filmmaker, she's a screenwriter, she's a producer. I have in my life not seen anything like this. This is a combination of live action. It's got painting, it's got CGI, it's a mix of fiction and non-fiction. You know, in this, Saurabh, Ashuji, the makers, since you all have seen the film, they have reimagined 94 of Vincent van Gogh's paintings. And this data is there on the internet, you can check. So the frames of oil painting are 66,960. So they got about 120 artists who practiced and practiced the actual brush strokes that Vincent van Gogh used to use. And then the whole film is painted. So there are actors in it, you know, imagine the casting, how difficult it must have been, because the actors were playing the real life people like Van Gogh and his brother Theo and the policeman and his son and everything. These were real characters. They cast actors based on the physical resemblance of the paintings that Van Gogh did. And I don't know, I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can see the making of Loving Vincent. They first shot the film with actors on a green screen. And then a team of more than 100 artists, they transposed that film into moving art, and they used something called paint on glass animation. I'm actually shocked that when I discovered this film, that it was snubbed at the Oscars. It did not win a single Golden Globe. It was not recognized. It was nominated, but nothing happened. But it's astounding. It's absolutely astounding. Now that's about the animation and the work of art. And they also chose exact shades of colors. The shades of colors that Vincent van Gogh actually used in his paintings, they've used that. But when they go into the flashback sequences, they've used black and white. But the story of this film, that has you hooked, because it's basically a drama. It's a thriller. It's about a relationship between a brother uh, and I don't want to spoil it for the audience, but there is a letter that has to be delivered, and it's about the mystery behind Van Gogh's. Was it a suicide? Was it a murder? Because I believe in 1930s there was a rumor. There was a rumor doing the rounds that did he really kill himself? Or was he shot accidentally? Or was he shot deliberately? So the whole film is about that. So it moves along like that. And the music. And there's a mystery in this. He was just beginning to be recognized. He was just beginning to get famous. So people started thinking at that time that why would he kill himself? So then those conspiracy theories, okay, I don't know what else to say about it. I think I'll leave you all to say something more about it, because I have never in my life seen anything like it. Loving Vincent is, I think, on Disney Hotstar, sort of.
No, Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's a recommendation if you haven't seen it. Whether you like animation, whether you don't like animation, it's not about that. Watch the film to see. You probably, I think in the next 100 years also, I don't think people will have the courage to make another film like this, which is the entire film is painted. Yeah, Saurabh.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an animated, short animation movie, but later on they thought that no, we'll make a feature film out of it. So because it's very difficult to portray that entire thing,
Yeah.
they used a rotoscope technique.
What is a rotoscope technique?
आशु जी बताइए.
So rotoscopy is a technique used in animation where they actually frame by frame follow the movements and cut mats of actual characters. Now, to give you an example, in the earlier times, if I have, let's say, Nalini ji has to have a double role. So नलिनी जी को एक शूट करेंगे और फिर नलिनी जी को फिर दूसरी जगह रख करके सेम चीज फिर से शूट करेंगे. अब पहले वाले नलिनी जी को वो एक एक फ्रेम जो है उनको सेपरेट करेंगे और निकाल के सिर्फ उतना सा ही कैरेक्टर को निकाल करके जो दूसरा शूट किया है उसके अंदर प्लेस करेंगे. ये जो एक एक फ्रेम को स्केच करके मैनेज करना, इसको रोटोस्कोपी बोलते हैं.
अच्छा.
सिंपल भाषा में नलिनी जी, आपने तारे ज़मीं पर देखी है?
हाँ जी.
उसमें सीन है जहाँ वो एक छोटी सी किताब ईशान की माँ फ्लिप करती है. And when it flip, it gives a movement.
Yeah, flip art. Yeah, we've done that in school. Yeah.
From that rotoscope technique.
Oh, that's
was
okay. And also, Saurabh, Ashu ji, in this film, आप लोग ये बोल रहे हैं तो मुझे याद आ रहा है कि इसमें इतनी fantastic है जो भी technology, I don't know. Actor Douglas Booth, who's playing the protagonist in this, or even the other actors, when they are doing some action, like on top of the bridge or walking, so they're actually walking from one painting to another.
Yeah, that is done through green screening.
Yeah, they put the actors in front of green screen and then they put the painters on it. But what's beautiful about this is because the eyes are all real. So the expressions are so fabulous. Yeah, it's really.
But what is the victory of this film? That however complex the technology used to execute this film, you really do not concentrate on the technology. You just concentrate on the medium of telling the story, and that I think that's the biggest victory. It is a completely different form of executing a plot. So when you say it is an animation film, it is not like a normal animation film. So the brush strokes that she spoke about, Nalini ji spoke about, those brush strokes is what forms the essential part of this animation, and you will see it. It is so brilliantly done because that needs so much detailing. It is not a simple film to make. And so when you say that, in coming time also people may not make this film, it is simply because of the amount of effort that is needed to go and make. It's not only effort to make the film, it is the the perception, it is the imagination, it is the execution, it is the cohesive nature of everybody to come together in synergy to make something like this. It's a film of its kind. It's a film that is indescribable. It is only something that you can experience when you see it.
Ashuji, the reason to watch this film, it moves you, and it's not boring for a second. The narrative keeps moving. It takes you on this journey of this quest to find out what happened on that day, and everything is leading towards that.
Correct.
The film opens with a very stark scene, and it's such an emotional thriller drama. It's beautiful, and the end will make you cry.
I love the genre that you said. It's an emotional thriller drama. You can't even categorize it into a separate segment. You need to use all of these.
Yes. And Ashuji, Don McLean, the singer who created Starry, Starry Night, in Amsterdam, where they have that gallery where Van Gogh's paintings are, till today, Don McLean, with his guitar, stands in that art gallery and sings Starry, Starry Night. His voice is cracking a little bit. He's maybe going off key a little bit. Nobody cares. He's standing there. People are coming and watching him live singing in that gallery in Amsterdam, the Van Gogh gallery.
That's the love of art, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Nalini ji. Lovely film, Loving Vincent. Do watch it. Highly, highly recommended. Amazon Prime में available है. अगर आप सिनेमा को पसंद करते हैं, आर्ट फॉर्म को पसंद करते हैं, you should definitely check out this film.
Saurabh, I have one question before we move to your film. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
See, you're such a keen watcher of all these kind of different kind of films also, and also you keep tabs on the awards that films are winning. So apparently, I looked it up. Obviously, I didn't know it, but the year that Loving Vincent was nominated or whatever for Best Animated, the film that got the Oscar was Coco. So you must have seen Coco, right? I haven't. But
Coco, I have seen.
So tell me now, honestly. So why do you think Loving Vincent didn't come anywhere close to winning any awards?
Because it is underrated. They always give awards to popular films, right? So Coco was the most popular and highest grossing animation film of that year. I loved Coco, though.
मुझे भी कोको बड़ी पसंद है.
Yeah.
So Saurabh, over to you.
तो मैं एक बहुत ही लाइट हार्टेड फिल्म रेकमेंड करूंगा. आई थिंक इट्स एन अंडररेटेड फिल्म. नई पिक्चर है, लूट केस, कॉमेडी फिल्म. आई लव दैट.
गुड फिल्म, वेरी गुड फिल्म.
अच्छा.
आई लव दैट फिल्म. आई थिंक वो लॉकडाउन में रिलीज हुई थी. एक्चुअली थिएटर में रिलीज होने वाली थी, फिर कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया, देन लॉकडाउन हो गया और वो डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार में आ गई. But I think this film should have received some kind of appreciation, though it got Filmfare, I guess. Filmfare शायद मिला था डायरेक्टर को, who worked on TVF also. But ये कॉमेडी फिल्म है और हमने कॉमेडी का भी एक पॉडकास्ट किया है. Do check out that also, where I mentioned लूट केस because recent में मुझे लगता है लूट केस ने ही मुझे हंसाया था. It had good writing, good humor. और कैरेक्टराइजेशन कितने फनी है, जैसे कि विजय राज, वो हमेशा वो एक डॉन है मगर वो नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक चैनल देखते रहते हैं और अपने गुंडों को बोलते भी हैं कि सब्सक्राइब करो, क्या कर रहे हो तुम, और हमेशा जानवरों का रेफरेंस देते रहते हैं और सामने वालों को पता नहीं क्या बोल रहे हैं. और सीन है जहाँ वो सामने वाला, मतलब हिज हेंचमैन गिव्स अ नेशनल ज्योग्राफिक रेफरेंस एंड दिस गाय इज लाइक, तुमने सब्सक्रिप्शन ले लिया. और एक डायलॉग, इट्स वेरी फनी डायलॉग, वो वेरी स्टूपिड बट स्टिल फनी, कि वो कुणाल खेमू को गुंडे पूछते हैं कि तू किसका आदमी है, सच सच बता किसका आदमी है तू. तो कुणाल खेमू से मैं लता का आदमी हूँ.
क्या क्या दोबारा बोलो, मैं किसका आदमी?
मैं किसका आदमी हूँ? ही सेज मैं लता का आदमी हूँ. Lata is wife, Rasika Subramanian.
अच्छा, मैं भूल गई. Okay.
And Gajraj Rao's performance, character, each and every character has this characteristic traits, right? Like Gajraj Rao is very manipulative politician. Vijay Raj watches National Geographic Channel. He's a don. और उसका एक बॉस भी रहता है, कुणाल खेमू का एक अनोइंग बॉस रहता है जो दारू पी के वो अपने ऑफिस में बैठा रहता है, वेयर ही हाइड्स हिज मनी, आई गेस. तो वहां जाता है तो ये दारू पी रहा है, उसको बुलाता है यहाँ बैठ, और वो अपना मतलब ब्रेकअप को भी तो गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ ब्रेकअप वो सब बता रहा है, रो रहा है. So those things nice, nicely written. I think people should watch it. People should appreciate it more.
People will watch it now that you're recommending, and it is a good film. And I've realized another thing, Kunal Khemu, generally when he does films like this, uh, generally tends to fly under the radar, but he does, his selection of some films are really nice, and he portrays them also very, very good as a vulnerable person, who's not a hero kind of a guy, and could get caught in a situation, and how will he get out of it. That vulnerability he really depicts brilliantly.
And he has an impeccable comic timing.
Impeccable, correct. If with a poker face, he does it with poker face.
Yeah. वो एक सीन है जहाँ वो दैट सूटकेस व्हिच ही गेट्स, वो सूटकेस को लालवंती कुछ तो बुलाता है. तो
हाँ, लाजवंती.
लाजवंती समथिंग लाइक बहुत सारे सीन के बाद उसको वापस मिल जाते, वो बीच में खो जाती है शायद, वो वापस मिल जाती है. तो बोलता है कहाँ थी रे तू, इतना मिस किया तुमको. नन्ही जी,
आपने
आपने
देखी?
हाँ,
हाँ, मैं
मैंने
वही
जब
पूछ रहा.
आई थी मैंने देखी थी, और अभी तो मुझे हंसा रहे हो, और उस वक्त जब आई थी मैंने देखी थी, पर it didn't stay with me. I do remember Gajraj Rao played a politician, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember this about the National Geographic because you are saying it right now. नहीं तो मैं भूल गई थी सारा. I just know कि लूट के इस पिक्चर मैंने देखी है, और जिस दिन आई थी उस दिन देखी थी, पर शायद मुझे इम्प्रेस नहीं की, तो मुझे कुछ याद ही नहीं है इसके बारे में.
I think this is the rarest film which I can revisit again, क्योंकि जितनी भी हाल ही में निकली फिल्में हैं हिंदी में,
हाँ,
कुछ भी फिर से दोबारा देखने लायक नहीं है. But this I can revisit again.
you can.
In fact, Saurabh, I would put 99 also in the same category.
Yeah, but 99 was released in 2009, right? That is not a
I'm not
recent.
I'm not talking, but we're talking about underrated films. You're not talking about underrated films in this time.
Underrated 99 for sure. I mentioned that in our Farzi episode also, right?
हाँ,
शायद नल्ली जी ने देखा भी उसके बाद.
हाँ, मैंने देखा जब सौरभ ने
हाँ.
देखा. हाँ, मैंने देखा. हाँ.
क्या उसमें बमन ईरानी ने काम किया है, माय गॉड.
Yeah. Ashu ji, I think Kunal Khemu is again another
Yeah.
underrated gem.
Yes. But anyway, we are not talking about 99 at the moment. We are talking about Loot Case.
Yeah, definitely check out Disney Plus Hotstar में.
Please tell me who's the director again, because I'm forgetting the name also.
His name is Rajesh Krishnan.
Oh yes, Rajesh Krishnan, right? That's the thing, if you like something, it kind of stays with you, right? So I don't know why, but Lootcase didn't. But maybe on your recommendation, I shall go back. And I hope you're not going to make me just another sucker.
Okay, over to you, Ashu ji. आपकी बारी अभी, तीसरी film.
So in this episode of our podcast, this will be the last film that I will talk about at the moment, because I think we are running short of time. We could have gone on, but because there are too many filmy buffs also, and they will also have their list, and we would like them to add their list in the thread of the Twitter and the other posts that we do. But my last film that I would like to mention is a Hollywood film called Phenomenon, which had John Travolta in it. Now, I don't know whether you'll have had the opportunity to watch it, but for me, I was really enthralled with the film. It's a different kind of a human film, and I get very captivated by such stories where there is John Travolta on his birthday walks out of a bar and looks up at the skies. It's night, and he sees like a bright light, bright light, and he falls. And then he gets up and he walks into the bar and he says, "Did you guys see the light? Did you hear anything?" And none of them were even moved by it. It's got some great star cast, and they've not heard anything, they've not seen anything. They're completely unmoved by it. But this one little episode changes John Travolta's life completely. It is as if his brain has opened up 100%. He loses sleep, he reads, he's got a photographic memory now. He can scan through and doesn't need to read again. He remembers everything. I remember there is a sequence in the film where he's supposed to drive for about 20 minutes to go to speak to a family that only understands Portuguese. and this guy doesn't know Portuguese, and he reads through the dictionary or whatever book that he has to speak the language, and he speaks with them in perfect Portuguese, and those guys are completely amazed. They say, "Are you learned the entire language in 20 minutes, all of it?" He said, "Well, not all of it, but that's how he is." He suddenly can feel that there is an earthquake that is coming, and you realize that in a short while the earthquake comes. He senses things. He starts getting connected to nature. He's reading books. His sleep deprived, and I will not tell you what the ending of the film is, but it is so beautiful a film that you really enjoy it, and you don't mind watching it again. It's a great film called Phenomenon. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you. And if you haven't watched it, I think I stand vindicated to why it is underrated.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, and I would love to know where I can watch it. Ashuji, it
Same
sounds
here. I also have.
yeah, it sounds very intriguing and very engaging. Yeah.
It is definitely available on the YouTube. I don't know about the OTT platforms. I'll have to look into it, but definitely on the YouTube, it's available.
Oh, does it have a good print though? Because this kind of film needs a good print, right?
बिकॉज़ जॉन ट्रेवोल्टा की फ़िल्म में अगर बात बोलते हैं लोग तो सिर्फ़ 3 ही पिक्चर है ज़िक्र में दिमाग में आती हैं। वन इज़ पल्प
Pulp
फिक्शन, सेकंड
Fiction.
इज़ सैटरडे नाइट
Yeah.
लाइव एंड थर्ड इज़ ग्रीस।
Grease, yeah.
Yeah, but
But
I've
वो भी
seen
तो
so
है.
many.
Yeah.
I've seen so many of his films. I'm such a fan of his.
Me too, me too.
हैव यू सीन दैट फ़िल्म ब्लोआउट?
Yes, yes.
वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट थ्रिलर्स आई गेस।
Yeah. I mean, Swordfish देख लो, कमाल है उसमें.
Swordfish. Wow, wow. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I remember that. And what's that one about the arrow and of course Face Off? Face Off is there.
फेस
And
ऑफ
Yeah.
इज़ आल्सो अ पॉपुलर
yeah,
फिल्म, या।
but that one about, is it called Broken Arrow? Yeah.
Yes. I think, but he's not the hero in the film, no?
Yeah, but there are two. There's, I think, is it Val Kilmer or who? But two of them. One second, I'll tell you. It's Christian Slater. Christian Slater in
Christian
Broken.
Slater. Correct,
Yeah,
correct,
in
correct.
Broken
Christian
Arrow.
Slater.
Yeah.
But he's got so much charm. It's for me, he's in Hollywood version of Vinod Khanna. That's how charismatic he is.
Hmm.
So for me, Phenomenon is my third film, which I think is brilliant. You will enjoy every minute of the film that you watch. And it's a love story over there. Plus, at the same time, it's a human drama. And it is a science fiction. But it's very emotional as well. You'll enjoy the film.
So Phenomenon is, it came out in 1996. I'm just reading it here. And I don't know where to find it online.
So I know, Naliniji, I saw it at that time on the DVD. And then when
Acha.
I went and bought the DVD also for myself, and I owned it now that the DVDs are out of form or whatever. So I haven't seen it in more than maybe a couple of decades or whatever.
Hmm.
But the film stayed with me. I remember the film in terms of the story and everything else. It's very, very good. Really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, we will definitely watch it
I
and
will definitely want to
listeners
watch
also
it.
do watch the film Phenomenon. अगर
Yes.
आपने देखी है तो कमेंट कीजिए आपको कैसे लगे एंड यू अग्री विथ आशु जी की अंडररेटेड में आती है कि नहीं।
हाँ.
अभी बारी है नलिनी जी की। नलिनी जी
जी,
अपनी आखिरी दाव पेच आखिरी
आखिरी
पेच
दाव
लड़ाइए।
है। वैसे तो बहुत फिल्में हैं, पर ये जो फिल्म जिसके बारे में मैं बात करने वाली हूँ मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है। मैंने 2-3 बार देखी है फिल्म, आप लोगों ने डेफिनेटली देखी होगी। ये 2000 में आई थी, इसमें तब्बू हैं और इस फिल्म का नाम है अस्तित्व। आपने देखी?
गाने
हाँ, मैं-
मेरे बस की बात नहीं। That's the song in the film.
नहीं,
मैंने
वो
देखी हुई है।
मल्हार कामत का वो जो गाना है वो गाओ ना।
I remember this song शंकर
अच्छा,
महादेवन।
हाँ,
गाने मेरे
अस्तित्व।
बस की बात नहीं।
अच्छा, तो आशु जी आपको कैसे लगी अस्तित्व? मुझे तो बहुत पसंद है ये फिल्म फॉर सो मेनी रीजंस।
Well, it's a different kind of a film. I think it's
Yeah.
Mahesh Manjrekar's film.
Yes.
And Mahesh generally likes to experiment with his stories and his storytelling and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And this one had its own charm. I
Yeah.
don't know if the film worked. The film really successful थी कि नहीं मुझे doubt है. But
Hmm.
yes, it did create a name. Did even Sachin Khedekar is there in the film, right?
He was brilliant in the film.
Absolutely. He plays our husband
Yeah,
and he's done a fabulous job.
yeah,
Sachin
yeah.
Khedekar.
So, yeah,
And
very good film.
और इसमें और एक बात है ना कि that time he made this film called वास्तव. और
ah,
उसके बाद महेश मांजरेकर की सारी फिल्में उसके बाद जो भी आई सब चॉल बेस्ड थी, चॉल बेस्ड फिल्म्स बना रहे थे वो.
hmm.
हम्म,
एंड इसके बीच में अस्तित्व है जो बहुत ही अलग थी उनके सारे दूसरे फिल्मों से.
हम्म,
कितनी खूबसूरत फिल्म है ना अस्तित्व, कितनी सारी चीजें इसमें है. इसमें मेल शोविनिज्म है, इसमें लोनलीनेस है. The wife is starved for attention. She's starved for love, for romance, and how a man can get away with anything. He can be an MCP, he can have affairs, he can neglect his wife, he can tell his wife, "I don't want you to work," and she just listens to him. She's so madly in love with him. And in the end, of course, Astitva essentially is about a woman finding her place and finding her identity, finding her place in society, because all this time she's just been subservient to her husband and his needs. And he's totally selfish, like a lot of men are. But there is one scene in this Ashuji and Saurabh, which मतलब वो जो climax का scene जो है वो तो है ही. But if you remember that scene where her husband Sachin Khedekar is again on some trip, and she's spending time with her sister and her sister's husband in Pune or something. The husband is crazy about her sister, and they're married, and he's very touchy feely. He likes to touch her, kiss her, So there's a lot of intimacy that Tabu can see from the corner of her eye, and she feels so lonely, and she's missing her husband so much. Is that expression on her face, because she's so starved of all this. And then, I mean, it's gone to some other level of male chauvinism, because for those who haven't seen it, when the husband realizes that he hasn't fathered that child and realizes that he's infertile, his first reaction is that society should not know. I mean, she must live with me. I must punish her. She has to be punished every single day of her life. Society must not come to know that Aniket is not my son. What really is surprising is that both the father and the son who abuse this woman, the son also abuses his mother and calls her all sorts of names. What did you think about that ending?
It was very bold for that time, no?
This is a phrase that people use a lot. No, films like this, they call them bold. You know, yeah, because there's no other word, I guess, to describe it. They say us waqt ke liye kitni bold film thi.
Yeah,
Actually,
because it was late 90s and
yeah,
Tabu was a commercial
exactly.
actor.
Yeah. No, and also they'll call it bold, Saurabh, because of not the lecture, but the truths that she speaks to her husband when he forces her to say everything in front of his friends. She speaks about sexual intimacy. She speaks about loneliness. She speaks about the fact that he's been having affairs and he thinks that she doesn't know. So, a man wanting to have sexual intimacy, a man's urges are urges, but a woman can't have urges, you know? So, she speaks about these kind of things. And he's shocked. And there is violence in this film. There's no physical violence, but literal emotional violence. And it's not as if she didn't want to tell him. Remember that movie? I'm going back to a film which has got nothing to do with this, but आपको याद है अंदाज फिल्म ना आशु जी, शमी कपूर,
yeah,
हेमा
yeah,
मालिनी,
yeah, yeah,
ठीक है ना?
yeah.
जब
Rajesh
सिमी,
Khanna.
हाँ जी, जब सिमी शमी कपूर को बताना भी चाहती है, कोशिश भी थोड़ी सी करती है कि अगर ये बच्चा पैदा हुआ, उसके दिमाग में चल रहा है ना, डॉक्टर has said it's dangerous to you if you have this child, and she's thinking about the husband, and she's saying, my God, but he loves kids. So when she
Mm,
walks in, she's thinking that, okay, I'm going to tell him that it's going to be, but she opens the door and all you can see is Shammi Kapoor jumping, and the whole nursery is just full of toys. He's so excited, so excited. He doesn't let her get a word in edgeways. So she doesn't end up telling him. Similarly, in Astitva, Tabu tries. She tells him, she's crying. And she says, Mujhe tumko kuch batana hai, kuch batana. He's so happy to be a father. He doesn't give her a chance to speak.
mm,
She just takes a step back. And there's a fabulous dialogue in Astitva. She looks at, his name is Shrikant, Sachin Khedekar. Her husband's name is Shrikant in the film. She says कि तुम इस बच्चा ये जो पैदा हुआ था अनिकेत, you were so proud, you went around, you were so proud, you used to keep saying, what a handsome boy, he looks just like me. Remember that dialogue?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
she,
remember that long back.
yeah. So she says to him कि जब तुम्हें लगा था कि ये तुम्हारा बेटा है, तब तो तुम इतने खुश थे, इतना प्यार करते थे और ये भी बोलते थे कि ये बिल्कुल मेरे पे गया है. I thought that whole scene was very well written. And also the beauty of this film is that the son's fiance, uh, breaks off her engagement with this regressive thinking boy and takes Tabu with her. So for me, it's an underrated film. I don't know how many people have seen it, but if you haven't seen Astitva, and this is not because, it's a feminist issue or anything, no, nothing like that. It is just a very poignant story about a woman who's lonely, who has a misstep in her life, who's crazily in love with her husband, and she gets into a situation which is revealed right in the opening scene.
Yeah.
It's one of Tabu's greatest performances.
Tabu was awesome.
Yeah. So that's my third choice and final choice for today.
Yeah, and my final choice and the last movie of our discussion is Martin Scorsese's King of Comedy.
Acha. Oh, that's underrated?
Yeah, because I think
Really?
King of Comedy is the underrated film of Scorsese himself.
Oh my
People always talk about Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, his other
Departed.
film, Departed,
Hmm.
Wolf of the Wall Street,
Yeah.
Irishman, but nobody talks about King of Comedy. And interestingly, King of Comedy came after Raging Bull.
Hmm.
ऑस्कर मिला था De Niro को.
De Niro, yeah.
King of Comedy, I think, is one of the best, and I think it's underrated. People haven't seen much. If they have seen, like, if you ask them their favorite film of Scorsese, they will always mention these are mentioned film which I just mentioned.
Yeah.
मगर वो King of Comedy नहीं बोला. I think King of Comedy is his best.
Oh, okay.
Goodfellas वगैरह बाद में आएगी. For me, it's always King of Comedy. There's a reason because King of Comedy shows the celebrity culture.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, he wants to be a stand-up comedian, like us, like he admires a stand-up comedian, and he wants to get into stand-up comedy, but he doesn't want to learn his nuances, how he makes people laugh. He
Hmm.
just wanted to be famous, पॉपुलर होना चाहता है. वो उसके तरह बनना चाहता है, उसके तरह नाम होना चाहिए, शोहरत होना चाहिए. The first scene, if you remember, Nalini ji, have you seen this film?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen
आशीष
it.
जी, आपने देखा है क्या?
No, I haven't, but I will want to watch it. I will see it.
ये बहुत अच्छी फिल्म है और बहुत इसमें
हाँ.
सवाल भी उठते हैं.
इसमें एक ओपनिंग शॉट जो है, देयर इज अ सीन. सो मार्टिन स्कॉर्सेज़ी इज नोन फॉर फ्रीज शॉट्स. बहुत सारे फ्रीज शॉट्स उनके मूवीज में होते हैं जहाँ लाइक सीन फ्रीज हो जाता है, अ शॉट, अ पर्टिकुलर शॉट फ्रीज होके दिखाते हैं. इन दिस आल्सो देयर इज अ फ्रीज शॉट इन द ओपनिंग सीक्वेंस. वो दिस गाय स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन, नॉट रॉबर्ट डी नीरो बट द गाय रॉबर्ट डी नीरो एडमायर्स, वो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करके वापस अपने कार में घुसते हैं तो एवरीवन लाइक सराउंडेड, ऑल हिज फैंस एंड ऑल. और एक लड़की है जो शी ट्राइज टू स्नीक इनटू हिज कार. आई
Yeah.
लव यू, और अंदर
Oh
आने की कोशिश
gosh.
करता है,
Yeah.
उसको बार कर देता है. बार करने के बाद शी लाइक बैंग्स द कार्स विंडो.
Yeah.
वो हाथ जो है वो विंडो में ऐसा मतलब रखती है, एंड देन यू सी फ्री शॉट. So that shows that she wants to, like, how much she is hungry, like she's वो जो celebrity people are so obsessed with celebrities, वो particular free shot दिखा देती है. That is a amazing shot. और ये जो भी Big Boss और if you see these social media influencers, मुझे King of Comedy याद आती है. The urge to become popular. लोग मुझे देखे, even if you are cringe or you don't do anything, you just do things for publicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this film reminds you everything. Like in the end, like I don't want to give spoiler. How should I put this without giving spoiler?
Yeah.
So
Don't put a spoiler. Yeah. Yeah.
so actually ending is a very open-ended scene. आपको ये लगेगा कि ये ड्रीम है कि एक्चुअली इसके साथ हुआ. तो एंड में जो भी होता है, that was his only intention.
Exactly. और सौरभ, Jerry Lewis, growing up as kids, we've all seen Jerry Lewis, right? Comedy. इसमें उसका कितना negative shades उसने दिखाए, and wasn't this one of the last films of Jerry Lewis? And he wants to be like him, you know, like
Exactly.
yeah. And Jerry Lewis is like, I mean, legend is a small word to use for Jerry Lewis. And they've shown a side to Jerry Lewis and all these stars who become so big that after a while they just don't know how to treat people who admire them, love them, are crazy about them. Yeah.
And it's a very simple film comparing to his other films. It's a
Hmm.
simple film, like simply made. But उसमें इतने सारे layers है, so
Hmm.
much complexity is there. Still, it looks like a simple film. And Robert De Niro क्या acting किया है?
Oh. Yeah, yeah.
There is again one very famous shot, I guess. Famous in the sense, Google वगैरह आप करेंगे तो उसके screen grabs आएंगे. Where you see collage of Jerry Lewis photo, उसने जो भी stand up performance दिया है उसका बहुत सारे collages है, and this guy Robert De Niro is standing in between, frame के बीच में खड़े हैं और वो photos देख रहे हैं. That shot itself shows so many things. It's a very realistic film. इसमें
It's
ज्यादा बहुत बड़े sequences, बहुत बड़े dramatic sequences ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, मगर still it's so impactful.
it is, yeah.
This film is available on YouTube also, I guess.
I will watch it. I will certainly watch
Yeah,
it.
watch this film. It's worth watching. I will revisit it also when I have time after I watch everything that I want to watch. I
Yeah,
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has so many themes like celebrity culture, the
Yeah.
urge to become popular without doing anything,
Yeah.
without any caliber. You just want to be popular. That's it.
Yeah.
क्योंकि वो जैसे मैंने बोला कि वो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन को एडमायर करता है, मगर वो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी को एडमायर नहीं करता है.
Yeah.
And the scenes where he's doing stand up comedy, those scenes are also nice. And those और एक चीज, sorry, let me complete this, then I will say the second thing.
Yeah.
So वो scenes जो है जहाँ वो stand up comedy sequences है, उसमें भी अगर आप देखेंगे तो he's just imitating Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Second thing is, I just hate in Indian cinema, Hindi cinema, where they show stand up comedy sequences because उसमें हंसी नहीं आती आपको, और वो उसके अंदर ऑडियंस आते हैं और आप सोचते हैं कि इनको पैसा दिया इसलिए हंस रहे हैं.
Exactly.
But here in this film, the stand-up comedy sequences are also funny, especially Robert De Niro के जो scenes है. He's actually funny. It's well written.
Saurabh, don't they also put up, if I remember correctly, वो जब तालियां बजानी होती है तो applause के placards और ये सब नहीं लगाते इसमें?
I don't remember that.
हाँ, वो placard भी लगाते हैं ना, जैसे live show में लगाते हैं. I don't know.
वो सब cues होते हैं ना?
Cues होते हैं कि आप ताली मारो, आप हंसो. हाँ.
वो scene है कि नहीं पता नहीं. But there are laughing tracks, sounds and all.
Yeah.
Placard, I don't remember.
Interesting. I'm glad you spoke about this film because it has brought in memories and it's also made me want to go and revisit it, you know. And I didn't know all these details that, you know, it.
And one of the best black comedy thriller. It's a black comedy.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
And it's a thriller. Yes.
Black comedy for sure. Like black comedy films, अगर आप जिक्र करेंगे, अगर आपने King of Comedy देखा तो you will definitely mention this film.
Yeah. And it's so nice to see a really young De Niro.
With mustache, वो pencil.
Yeah.
चलिए, हमारे फिल्में खत्म हो गई हैं और हमारा दुकान बंद होने का समय आ गया है. Any last words, Nalini ji, Ashu ji? Okay, quickly with an ending note. One film which you consider underrated and you are recommending this to the audience.
Okay, Ashu ji, you want to go first?
पान सिंह तोमर.
अच्छा जी, वो तो मैंने देखी है. क्या फिल्म है वो, माय गॉश. मैंने 2 बार देखी है वो फिल्म. और पता है उसको अंडररेटेड में डालना भी इतना दुख होता है ना इसी फिल्म को.
बहुत सारे लोग शायद नहीं भी डालें अंडररेटेड में, बट मेरे लिए it's a really good film, very good storytelling, a film that did not see the light of the day for years because for whatever reason it was complete and ready, lying in the cans waiting for the day its day in the sun, and it took maybe I think 3 years or something before the producers finally decided to release the film, and then what followed is history.
Yeah. Saurabh,
Yes.
you want us to mention only one film to recommend to the audience?
Yes.
Okay. So then I would recommend a film called Filmistan.
Lovely
Yes,
film.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
Again, repeat value, no, Saurabh in Filmistan?
Superb repeat value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shari
Very good.
Bhashmi was awesome.
Awesome. And
He wrote the dialogues also, I guess.
Acha, Shari,
Very good.
he's so good. He's so good. And of course, that other Inamanund Haq also is very good in that. And of course, Kumud Mishra. But yeah, the star of the Filmistan is Sharib Hashmi.
Sharif Hashmi. Yeah.
इसमें एक सीन है जो बाद में मीम्स वगैरह बन गए उसके,
Oh,
where he's telling that वो शाहिद अफरीदी सचिन तेंदुलकर से ग्रेट प्लेयर है, so शारी बशमी से भाईजान ये थोड़ा ज्यादा नहीं हो गया?
क्या फिल्म है वो, और वो फिल्म भी बहुत सारे लोगों ने नहीं देखी.
And if I remember right, I think this was also a UTV film.
अच्छा.
And Saurabh, your recommendation?
Yeah, so I will just recommend a thriller. It's a time pass thriller. तो ये recommend करना चाहता हूँ. This is a film called Copycat.
ये
Okay.
कौन सी शायद मैंने देखी है, जरा प्लॉट बताओ ना प्लीज.
Copycat is a mystery thriller where this killer, this psychopath killer, he copies all these famous serial killers' murder technique. Ted Bundy, Boston Strangler, Zodiac Killer. वो जैसे मारते थे लोगों को, वैसे ये replicate करता है. Same thing.
सौरभ, मैंने ये फिल्म देखी है, बट बहुत धुंधली यादें हैं इस फिल्म की. पर अभी
Yeah, it's
प्लॉट
a time
बताएं.
pass film. It's not that
हाँ.
great, but if
Yeah.
you are a thriller fan, you will love it. So I'm recommending it. It's available on Amazon Prime. And check out. इसमें वो actors हैं. Alien. What's her name?
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the forensic expert.
I think
Oh.
I've definitely seen this film.
And her acting is superb in the film. Even the other lady, what's her name? क्या hunter है वो?
Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter.
Holly
Holly
Hunter.
Hunter.
I've seen this film. Okay, so where are you saying it's available? On which streaming platform again?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Okay. Saurabh, thank you so much for hosting this. And now you can close the show in whichever style that you wish.
So thank you, the audience, for listening us. And it was a very interesting episode because we have spoken about some underrated gems. And after this podcast, after listening, I think those films will not be underrated. It will be rated, I guess so. तो जरूर देखिए, सारे recommendations भी हैं. उससे we totally mentioned 9 films, I guess, or extra bonus 3 films.
Yes.
So do check these films if you're a cinephile. Do check it out. Or Dime a Dozen podcast previous episode is a very, very special episode on Vijay Anand, the master filmmaker, and his masterpiece Guide. तो वो episode भी आप जरूर सुनिएगा, बहुत मजा आएगा आपको. And it's an independent podcast, our Diamond Dozen film. So आपके downloads, आप जितना सुनेंगे उतना हमको और भी encouragement मिलेगा नए episodes बनाने के लिए. So do follow our podcast. It's also available on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple. So stay tuned, guys. We will be back with one more exciting episode next week. So thank you. Bye.
Thank you and good night to everybody. See you again very soon.
Yeah. Until the next time, thank you for listening to us and please keep encouraging us.